Hello and welcome to diverCity. I'm Stefana Bjelogrlic.
And I'm Meriem Benkhaled.
Thank you for joining us on our second show of the season, where we will bring you the latest from local and on-campus news.
You can also see all our updates and view all our videos online. Just follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
We begin with our first story. New figures show homelessness in London has increased over the last 4 years. As the holidays fast approach, the vulnerable will be faced with the low temperatures of winter. Our reporter, Bilal Abbas, has the story.
Winter is nearing, and with Christmas around the corner, Islington's high streets are booming. Yet among the festivities there is one minority that is often forgotten and unnoticed to the rest of society. Steve Kidge is in his 50s. 6 years ago he was an electrician, but later lost his job and his home. Today he lives around St John Street and relies on the goodwill of others.
Got to get an accommodation in this country. Definitely will. I'll get help with it, because I'm not signing on at the moment, so I'm going to have to get some help with accommodation. I mean, I've got the minimum stuff, but some people have a lot of stuff. Where do you put it? You've got to stay with it, otherwise it just go missing. You've got something.
This winter has been predicted to be the worst in 50 years. Homeless charities urge people to take shelter. Steve, like many homeless around Islington, will not have enough money to afford a bed for
the
the
last
night.
few winters, I suppose. Just trying to keep out of trouble. Sometimes trouble comes looking for you on the streets. But mainly it's just keeping warm, I suppose.
What do you think about organisations like Shelter in Crisis?
I'll get a lot of recommendations from certain places and people. And, they get a bit expensive. You know, they are expensive. Some of them are a lot more expensive than some of the others.
Family breakups, job losses, depression, alcohol and drug abuse are some of the reasons people often find themselves sleeping rough. And once homeless, the future is shockingly bleak. Recent study by Shelter shows homelessness in London has increased by 19% since 2012. Black and minority ethnic households are more than twice as likely to be homeless as white British households. 16,740 people were declared homeless because family or friends were unable or unwilling to care for them. Antonio Perez is a shelter volunteer that has been helping the homeless for the past 3 years.
At the shelter we realized that the hardest time was winter. Winter is the time where we provide the most aid for our homeless, for our guests. And we provide warm meals, beds at night, and also clothes given by the community.
Many homeless people are unaware of the options available to them and are forced to wander the cold and dark streets at night. 53-year-old gardener Muhammad Ali is part of the growing number of newly homeless. He lost his job in July, which led him onto the streets.
I count myself, I don't have place, so I will, count for staying outside, and I do my best. I don't got help from all this organization for a long time, and this year also I don't expect anything from them.
Amid the festivities, the homeless face a big challenge in finding food, shelter and warmth. And while the winter here has been relatively mild, it's likely to get much colder. It's a winter that some may not survive.
A review of health in the capital ordered by Mayor Boris Johnson has recommended that smoking should be banned in parks and public squares in London. Reporter Anjali Mandalia investigates.
Smoking in Trafalgar and Parliament Squares and in royal parks would become illegal under proposals submitted to Boris Johnson. The London Health Commission published a report advising a change to improve the health and well-being of the public. Key findings revealed that 1.2 million Londoners smoke, with 67 schoolchildren taking up the habit every day. Action on Smoking and Health believes that the proposals should be one of the government's top priorities. Amanda Sandford explains why Ash supports the proposals.
Smoking still remains the biggest preventable cause of ill health and premature death, both in London and UK-wide, and indeed in almost globally. And when you still have 100,000 people across the country dying every year from smoking, then tackling tobacco has to be a priority. And that's why we've welcomed the London Health Commission proposals, because although they're not looking exclusively at tobacco, They recognise that tackling smoking and trying to prevent children from starting smoking is still so very important.
Rory Broomfield, director of the equality group The Freedom Association, argues this estimated cost is a waste of money.
Well, for a number of reasons, for three broad reasons. The first being individual freedom, the fact that people wish to indulge in a perfectly legal activity and they're being precluded from public space to do this. They are unable to enjoy the benefits and the freedoms of other people in this public arena. And they are, of course, taxpayers, which leads me on to the second part, because this is taxpayer money being spent on looking to enforce this particular issue. And that leads into the third point, that I'd much rather that taxpayer money be spent on policing London and looking to catch criminals who are doing criminal activity rather than a perfectly legal one.
We asked members of the public in Trafalgar Square what they thought of the smoking ban.
I think it's a great idea. Anything that you can do to both help the environment and help people's health is a great thing to do.
If somebody comes and sits next to you, smoke, horrible. They don't say, can we smoke? They just smoke. And we either have to move or choke.
It's expensive here, and it's an economic thing that helps the country anyway. So I don't think make this illegal, it's a good idea at all.
Boris Johnson has opened up the debate on whether or not the proposal should be put forward. Pressure increases for the mayor to make sure our capital becomes one of the healthiest cities in the world. I'm Anjali Mandalia for City News.
Britain's iconic red telephone booths are turning green. As 8,000 unused booths are spread around the capital, 2 LSE graduates put them to the better use. Our reporter, Bada has more.
One of Britain's iconic landmarks outside Tottenham Court Road Station has been renovated earlier this month. The green phone box is the first solar box in London, a free solar-powered phone charger created by 2 recent graduates from the London School of Economics.
So many of our public spaces have kind of become privatised and they don't really belong to the public anymore, and we wanted to reverse that trend. So that was the first kind of inspiration for us, and the second one was to actually overcome the modern problem of poor battery life on mobile phones. You know, we've all experienced the battery anxiety, the phone dying on us, and we actually just saw an opportunity to create a new product to fill that gap in the market.
According to its creators, Solarbox only needs 3 hours of sunlight a day to keep its inbuilt battery pumping out power.
And you simply walk in, open the box and choose from one of the 4 charging points in there which cover all the major smartphones. Whilst you're in the box, there is an advertising screen which plays a mixture of community and commercial advertising, and that's our revenue stream because obviously it's a free service. Now Solarbox is completely off the grid, so that panel collects enough energy to work throughout the year.
But how reliable is solar power in cloudy London? James Durrant, Professor of Photochemistry at Imperial College London, says that Solarbox's adoption of solar power as its source of energy was the ideal decision.
Solar is the only truly scalable renewable energy source on the planet. Of course you have an issue that if you have long periods of cloudy days, there's less sunlight. Solar cells work under diffuse light as well as under direct light. You do get power in the winter. It's not always for hot power, so you don't get so hot, the air is cold, but there's still you get a lot of sunshine in the winter. I can fully understand that something like these solar boxes is one way to bring the idea of photovoltaics home to people, and that's very commendable.
Smartphones are now more than just a communication device for the modern man, but battery life is failing to keep up. Solarbox offers a solution to this problem. 5 more will be popping up all across London next year to help keep Londoners charged for longer. This is Bada reporting for City News.
What a creative initiative and very effective way of demonstrating how London is taking a step closer to becoming green.
It's a fantastic idea. Hopefully we'll see more of those around City, as my phone battery dies all the time.
I can completely relate to that. Now, over to sports with our reporter Lydia Decoud.
Thank you, Stefana, and welcome to the sports section. Congratulations to our women's netball team and men's badminton teams. Both won their match last week against University of Hertfordshire with a score of 3-2, giving them a 4-week streak. The women's hockey is another one not to forget. They brought home an 11-0 win against Brunel University last Wednesday. Well done, guys. Unfortunately, the men's basketball team lost to Middlesex with a score of 88-58. The Sentinels, City's American football club, lost their games against the Royal Holloway Bears last Monday with a score of 46-19. The Sentinels didn't make any scores in the first half of the game, but quickly improved with better offense and 3 touchdowns by Konstantinos Alavizakis and a successful PAT by Bernardo Assis Tejera. We are most excited, though, about City Sports, the new university facility on Goswell Road. Scheduled to open in early 2015, students, staff, and our local community members will have access to over 3,000 square meters of equipment promoting sports performance, rehabilitation, and general health. Get fit next year with the new strength and conditioning area, as well as group workouts such as martial arts, spinning, and student team sports. The center of the new facility will be the Sadler Sport Hall, a competition arena that seats 400 and accommodates basketball, badminton, 5-a-side football, and other court games. Bill Thompson, head of sport and leisure at City University, said City Sport will be an important resource and will provide a first-class setting to take part in sport and realize fitness goals. That's all for me. Now back to the desk.
Thank you, Lydia. That's all for today. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at City_on-screen.
Or you can like us on Facebook at City On Screen for the latest on-campus updates.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Stefana Bjelogrlic.
And I'm Meriem Benkhaled. See you next time.